Yeah, there's just so much you can contemplate. You can even look at strategies. Do we take a global hero? Do we look for a roaming team gank composition? Do we do the rotation? Mid to bottom. The most effective play has been that mid to bottom lane rotation. However, teams do sometimes see success in more of a traditional 1-1-3 setup. So there's so many different ways you can play Dragonshire. And even the ones that are considered not as, say, effective or as optimal can still be beneficial for the team. But getting in here, it's Dragonshire. It is, of course, Crimson Gaming up against Aztech Entertainment. Crimson have already secured themselves 1 point in the series, and they can close it out right now by taking this map. However, Aztech, not to be outdone by XD, are here to prove that they too can do a reverse sweep on a team that performed exceptionally in their game 1.
Yeah, and just talking about some of the heroes that do come in from time to time, especially on a map like Dragonshire, talking about the whole macro style of things like Dahaka and Falstad, they can pop in from time to time to try and influence the map from in a greater sense. So it would be just too surprising to see them pop up. Probably not first pick worthy, but then again, I was talking about how something is strong but not necessarily pick worthy before, and it turned out a Leeming first pick on Battlefield of Eternity was what was in the cards. So
well, yeah, it
what
depends
do I know?
what they want to do. And Falstad, you're just talking about, we've map in the mid-season brawl, he appeared a lot.
Oh yeah,
when Dragonshire was being, I think over about eight times he appeared, on the Dragonshire map for a team. So definitely a potential play. Globals are always a strong pick in Heroes of the Storm. It's just whether or not the heroes themselves can be affected in the ensuing team fight.
I'm just looking at what potential bans could come out. To be honest, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a Hanzo ban. We're talking about neutrals and just control of the siege camps and also the night camps. Hanzo does that incredibly well, and it allows you to have extra tempo with your pushes. And it's actually going to be the Malfurion ban away, not wanting to allow that top priority support to be on the table. We saw that the Malfurion ban in the previous game forced the Decade out of Aztech, and it got punished.
Yeah, they did not get the value they were hoping from Decade Kane whatsoever. Again, Malfurion continues his 100% appearance rate. I wonder if Malfurion gets a fee for that, an appearance fee. He's in every game, man.
Yeah, I mean, if he's working on commission, he is rich as rain.
Royalties, mate. Royalties. Okay, look at it. We go into the first pick. Johanna, that's just been a dominating force tonight, been picked up first for the side of Aztec. I believe Azog's actually is a confident character on Johanna, one of his more preferred tanks. The other one being Garrosh, that has a little bit of historic information there, so it might have changed a little bit. But definitely Azog's a great Johanna tank, that's for sure. But that has opened up the board for Crimson to go down so many routes here. They can still pick up a Genji. Obviously, there's Garrosh. Hanzo has seen play on this map as well on Dragonshire. There's so many potential first picks they could go through. And not to mention that, Maev's still on the board. Phoenix is still there.
Yeah,
I'm
still here.
Yeah.
The Garrosh is also a very big pick for KVA. He showed it last split just how dominant he can be with that hero. So, yeah, you can say, the Johanna also takes away from KVA, who had a brilliant game in game 1, but he still has other things to fall back on. It's actually going to be the Dahaka picked off right away. We're talking about the potential for globals to come in and not right off the bat, so to speak, but very highly prioritized. The Dahaka is going to come in. And also, as you mentioned, the Genji is still on the table. So that's going to go over to Crimson. Already 2 rather strong picks coming out for that side.
And we all know that any character from Overwatch, an Overwatch character, the O stands for overpowered, and the W stands for watch me overpower you. So Genji picked up on the side of Crimson, and that's going to be a zero.
The days of Lucio power. I miss the Lucio
glory days.
Yeah. Oh well. Maybe one day he will make his resurgence. But for now, it's just Genji. It's just Overwatch assassins who are really taking it to the rest of the pack.
All right, so the next 2 picked up, however, on the side of Aztec, Lunara from their Blaze skin. But the bunker will actually the bunker's going to be quite a deciding factor here. But when we see like someone like Genji go into the back line, Blaze can drop the bunker and really help keep someone like Lunara alive. Plus, Lunara's with her leap at level 10, she's going to be able to escape a lot of pressure from, say, Dahaka or Genji on their flank attempts, backline attempts. So, but that's the sort of, right? That's what you get when you pick Blaze. You get this great survivable play, great solo laner.
Just that extra security for a lot of your teammates is so hard to deal with because the bunker, its cooldown is not all that long, and the amount of power you get out of it, it's pretty damn good. We've seen it all throughout mid-season brawl, just how powerful and how, I won't say destructive, but how it just changes team fights when put in the right positions. So yeah, the Blaze is just too good and does pretty much everything you want out of a solo laner, except have a global. That's like the only thing that he doesn't bring when it comes to solo lane.
Yeah. He's a bit slow to get back to the fight.
Yeah, he can try to jet himself around the map, but he's not going to get there too quickly.
That Tiger Span's a bit of an interesting one there. They could have weakened the support choices on the side against Aztech, but they chose to strengthen their front line. Of course, they need to go into it. That kind of telegraphs to me that they might be looking for, say, picking up a Muradin who's just been banned, or maybe even a Garrosh. The armor that can be basically ignored by Tychus is a pretty big play there, so they've removed him off the board.
Yeah, and it looks like things are going to be a Garrosh pick for the side of Crimson. Would be too unsurprising. As I mentioned, KVA having a rather strong history on that hero, and would like to see it. But I feel as though going up against like a Lunara, Garrosh can just get burnt down over time with a lot of the poison, unless she's able to, unless she gets locked down immediately.
I think on Crimson, you want to pick up your support right now. You want to look into that. Who's going to get you value? You can go to Uther, the Divine Shield, of course.
Unless you've got something like particular in mind for support picks, or wanting to kind of be reactive when it comes to the support pick. But a lot of the time when you're wanting to be reactive, it's usually with your DPS or your solo laner. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we just see something like a Stukov. Yeah, the Stukov and the Garrosh, two very powerful picks. Still on the board, surprisingly enough, considering how far through the dark we are.
It's an interesting one with Stukov. He has dropped off. We talked about this earlier. He has dropped off popularity. He was picked a couple of times at the mid-season brawl, but not as much as I thought he would be. However, here down in the ANZ region, like he's been quite popular. Like he hasn't had a 100% appearance fee. That's obviously Malfurion, but he's been pretty prevalent in a lot of the games.
Yeah, just his zone control is really powerful, and especially with the way a lot of these team fights are going, controlling space is of most important. It is the most important thing, because a lot of these team fights, people are just funneling through chokeholds, and having that lurking arm down, it really just locks out an entire avenue for your opponents to come through, and then you can just dictate the pace of the fights. So, and also with the amount of follow-up that they have, or amount of crack control they have, the Garrosh and the Dahaka, the Stukov can follow up on that with that locking arm pretty damn well, and make it really hard for their opponents. It's actually going to be the Rhaegar, the support pick for the side of Aztec, and they do bring in the Hanzo. Ooh, hello, Kel'Thuzad coming in the last pick.
What are you doing there, Kel'Thuzad? And of course, it's on Hacky,
the
major specialist.
Yeah, this is going to be real interesting. So Kel'Thuzad, he has those very notable spikes around level 10, and also once we get late into the game, he can just one-shot anyone. And coming up against things like Lunara and Hanzo, they can die pretty quickly. Shrek on the Rhaegar is going to have that cleanse, having to have that cleanse down pat to time the chains coming out of Hacky on that Kel'Thuzad.
It's sort of an interesting one there. The Kel'Thuzad up against the Blaze, who potentially can protect his team from some of the big follow-up. Of course, Kel'Thuzad comes in tow with a quest at level 1. Gets it, that's a part of his being that once that it's fulfilled, he gets quite a massive spike in spell power. And all he needs to do is just hit the enemy with his abilities. It's that's not necessarily the hardest thing to do. But yeah, it's an interesting player interaction there. So it'll be one to keen eye to watch out for that moment on the side of Kel'Thuzad. That's the master of the Cold Dark quest.
And now we're into the game, and on the blue side we have Crimson. We have Shadow on the Stukov, KVA forever on his Garrosh, Azure yet again, or not yet again, but he is on the Overwatch Assassin yet again, but it is this time Genji, and Jesmez is on Dahaka, and as mentioned, Haki is on the Kel'Thuzad.
And Aztech hoping to have a stronger game. It's Shrek on Rhaegar, Superfish on Blaze, Azog on Johanna, Doubt on Hanzo, and Ultivian on Lunara.
And one thing to note, like when you have going up against someone like a Kel'Thuzad who does have those level 1 quests, you don't want to give them opportunity to stack them. So we see Aztec being very cautious with their approach, not wanting to step forward and give the Kel'Thuzad those free stacks.
Yeah, especially with so many squishies on their team, right? That can really explode and escalate pretty fast on the side of Aztec. But of course, Kel'Thuzad is a mage, so if he does get caught out, he's in a lot of trouble himself. Azog, speaking of getting caught out, was caught out a little bit in the bottom lane. Johanna does manage to walk away, but still 50% of your life missing. That's a little bit of a, any doctor would tell you that is unhealthy.
Yeah, you're not going to be too healthy after that one, but do manage to survive it. But with looking at both of these teams, it looks like the wave clear is a little bit in favor of Aztec at this moment. So we look to them to control a lot of these early rotations, and especially this central part of the map, as we do have both teams just taking care of their siege giants, and yet again, the clear of that is in favor of Aztec, thanks to that Hanzo. It will get even stronger as we get later on in this game.
I mean, you can say that Hanzo, you can say Shrek as well on the Rhaegar. That's going to be... He himself have great lane control. A little bit of a spicy situation here. KVA goes in looking for Rhaegar. Doesn't quite connect with the I think he missed.
Oh, there we go.
Gets a throw on Hanzo, but he goes over the wall. Nice sort of pull in there with the chains into the ice shard, but unable to follow up and do more damage. Genji goes in the mid lane, however, might be able to hit the dragon just in time and not be able to clear it. Bottom lane being picked up right now on the side of Aztec as the melee continues.
Yeah, they're just trying to get this Kel'Thuzad stacked up. And as you mentioned, once it does get stacked up, he gets that massive spike in power, and it's going to be really hard to deal with. But so far, a lot of the pace has been dictated by Aztec. They have the quicker rotations, and they have the easier wave clear. And Crimson, they're just playing it cautiously for now. They don't need to overextend for anything. Once we get late into this game, they will have the power to fight back.
Like I said, it's all about Haki building up that, building up his quest. Once it's completed, Master of the Cold Dark, he's going to be able to do a tremendous amount of damage. But we see there's an issue here right now in Aztec. They're unable to hold that bottom lane, which means they're constantly going to be pressured on the side of Crimson, picking up a Dragon Knight from the center. Yeah,
and throughout all of that, they were able to grab that Mercenary camp on the top side, so this is going to allow Superfish to maintain control of this top side of the map. And now it's going to force Crimson to try and get something happening on the bottom side, now that they realize that pressure is coming down towards Jesmez.
Yeah, pretty big pressure in the top lane right now. It's only going to sort of help with the experience lead. Jesmez will need some sort of support to help the continued pressure here. But look at this in the bottom lane. Crimson are giving it back with their own mercenaries. Picking up the ones in the bottom lane now. That's going to help push out Azog's having a little investigation, but it's not going to improve the results he was hoping for, and he'll have to back out from that. And the bottom lane is kind of exposed at the moment with only Johanna and Hanzo defending it.
Yeah, right now we're just trading pressure, and it looks like in the top side it's very much in favor of Aztec, especially with this camp pushing down. They just can't deal with it. Whereas on the bottom side, it's looking pretty good for Crimson, as they are able to get that camp and try and get some experience back, because the level 7s are available for the side of Aztec, and Crimson just have to play it cautiously until they can get their own.
Well, that's a lot of damage that Ultivian just ate then from Haki on Kel'Thuzad. I didn't really follow up. I don't think he was expecting it to connect, but it took about 50% off. All right, so for the first time this game, so far we see Aztec in control of the Dragon Knight statue. Can they connect to it? Putting a lot of pressure on KVA right now. He's had the pop, his Indomitable, but it's not enough. Will he be able to fold to the damage? Got to get to the well in time. And behind that, they will flip both points towards the side of Crimson.
Yeah, KVA almost getting taken down. Thankfully, he did have his well tap, so he's able to just stick around just a little bit longer, but it was a good attempt at a kill, and now they're it's just back to neutral. So it's just trying to maintain control of the points, which is right now looking to go in favor of Aztec. But Jesmez, once there's no other interference in this top lane, is seeming to control it.
That's interesting point, you know, when there's no other interference. So when Blaze isn't being a nuisance, he's able to take control of it.
Essentially, when there's no second or third interference, he's seeming to deal with the Blaze all right. The sustain from a Dahaka is pretty decent. Good cleanse coming out from Shrek, keeps doubt away from the pesky Kel'Thuzad. But we have 4 members down here from Aztec. Only just now as you're coming down, they're trying to get an engagement.
Yeah, it's a nice big fight here. Lurking out, doing
5
great.
man.
Only control here. Jesmez comes down now. Blaze is all by himself. We have to see Aztec back out. They don't want to engage on here, but they can to keep up their rotations and keep their experience going. Bold play by Crimson, because it is going to reduce their experience gains a little bit, while Dahaka renegotiates the wilderness to get back to the top.
Yeah, and it seemed like they wanted to make a big play happen, but they were just not able to, as KVA is going to get caught out.
KVA in the mid lane, that's what Aztec we're looking for. Azura could be next to fall, he backs out. The momentum swift switch, I should say. It's been triggered. That is exactly what we want to see Aztec. They're going to get level 10 from this. They could potentially get a DK from this. Oh, GL, mate, there was a little bit of a snooze fest. Everyone doing just back and forth, but it's waking up now. It's turning into a game.
There we go. As we do have level 10s coming online for Aztec, things are going to start heating up, and not just because there's a Blaze. We have to see Crimson try and navigate this period where they don't have their level 10s, but they're just going to try and get a kill onto Superfish against the run of the play.
Oh, they're going to try. He's got the bunker down so he can sort of survive. He's looking for an opportunity to escape. Azura, unfortunately, sort of like Zeke should have zagged, and then they've also turned that into a kill into Kel'Thuzad in the bottom lane. So Aztec just, strength after strength right now, reward after reward. Level 10's been picked up for Crimson, so they can put up a better fight now. But, it's looking really good for Aztec at the moment.
Yeah, they're in a pretty good position. They have a full level lead, and they, as mentioned, they do have the easier tempo with things like the Lunara, especially with the Nature's Calling, and also the Hanzo. Actually didn't go for the straight arrows to clear away some of those neutral camps, but will still have a reasonable amount of damage onto those camps. But yeah, just able to clean up neutral camps and just apply pressure. We have another Knight camp pushing on the top side, and it looks like Aztec are going to be able to take control of both of the shrines and maybe get themselves a Dragon Knight. But Crimson are just trying to they're clinging onto a hope that they can stick around.
Yeah, Crimson Art King's like, no thanks, no dragons for us, please. As they defend the mid lane, and we see the points start to flip again. Both teams are doing an admirable job here of stopping the other one DK game. But that's where Dragon Strike's really important to remember, that it's not always about capturing the DK. It's just about preventing the enemy team from doing it. But top lane, nice taunt comes out. We will see ultimate and fall on Lunara. Dragon Arrow does not connect. Wasted ultimate. And it is now Superfish has to back out. He cannot deal with the 3 members in the top lane. And the momentum has shifted in the side of Crimson, who might be able to do this a little bit neater. Superfish, however, is in the middle. He has flamed the statue. There will be no one picking it up. But again, we have not seen the points flip as back in the way of Aztec at all. So it's going to be a bit of a scuffle in the mid lane.
Yeah, they're trying to just interrupt the point as Azure gets caught out, does manage to get out of there, but almost went down. They're trying to just control this area, just force Aztec to be hold them accountable so they can't just walk all the way around the map wherever they want to go, and force them to react to the Dragonite pressure.
Yeah, look at the top lane. There was a big push going across the bridge as well with some mercenaries. So Crimson had to back out to deal with that. That's allowed Blaze to rotate to the top lane to recapture that shrine. So the rest of Aztec can go to the bottom and do the same and flip this map back in their favor.
Yeah, and just look, the camp is going to get picked up, but both of the shrines are going to go over to the side of Aztech.
Oh, look at that.
Just
Having
get
a
engaged.
nice big explosion in the mid lane. 3 members are weakened on the side of Aztec, conversing to a death onto Rhaegar. No support. Next, we see a Sunscreen on Johanna as Azog just managing to get into the bunker. He's sticking around her a little bit dicey. They are waiting for him to come out now.
Oh, wow.
He's on the top to get the shield to survive, but Superfish again just manages to escape. Hacky looking for a kill. Nice prediction of pathing just then, but doesn't connect with the boys are onto it. They knew they were out of the frying pan, but still in the fire. But Aztec just holding on in that encounter.
Yeah, they did get a good kill onto Hacky, but he did have the phylactery all filled up, so he was able to come back immediately and try and impact that fight. But now we do have to... Oh, a great lockdown onto the Hanzo, but they're trying to just turn it around and say, get interrupted the combo, but do it to get the kill.
I mean, they're looking for tank pressure, right? They've removed they're weakening the front line of Aztec. So it might be a good play here in the mid lane with the Altivian rushing to stop Jezbel. Not able to connect. In a dicey spot. The leap helps out. Gets into a safe position here to defend against the DK. The first DK of the game at 10 minutes, 40 seconds. So he's been waiting a long time to break out of that statue.
Yeah, he's been just chilling there, but funnily enough, despite all the pressure that Aztec have been able to impose onto Crimson, it is Crimson who ends up getting it, and because of this, they're going to be able to, I think, take the lead when it comes to experience, because of a lot of these early towers do have that good experience in them. It looks like they might be able to even take down a fort. They have hit 15 just a fraction before Aztec, and yeah, they're back into this game despite a rather shaky start of this game.
Yeah, look, I'm not sure about the decision-making right now on the side of Aztec. They did send Superfish and Altivian to the mid lane to try and maybe pull some pressure back from Crimson, but they've got the DK and they're putting pressure here. When we talk about lanes on Dragonshire, it's always commented that the bottom lane is it's one of the highest priority lanes in the game. But look at this, Azog's in the back line, maybe a little bit of a help there. Altivian looking for the hacky kill, doesn't quite connect, but it does happen eventually. Bunker doing a great job, keeping them all alive. Altivian backs out, putting the pressure back on the Jesmet, looking for KVA. It's actually Blaze ends up getting the kill now. Jesmet's in a lot of trouble, gets taken out as well. And this game, back and forth. We talk about Crimson possibly getting the lead, getting the advantage, but just in the bottom lane, they just proved to be a little bit too, too pumped up, and we saw Aztec get in there, jump on that back line, and pressure Hacky.
Yeah, just stuck around a little bit too long. They just were in a really awkward situation, especially once the Dragon Knight was defeated, and then all of a sudden the engagement came out. And really well played there from the Lunara Altivian, just leapfrogging his way to that back line, making sure that Hacky is never in a safe position. He's trying to get the damage out, but he's just not able to get into a position to freely throw out those spells. We can see, just looking at the damage numbers, Hacky's not looking too good right now, but this will end up ramping up as we get later into the game. Hopefully,
yeah,
I guess.
He's only halfway through his Master of the Cold Dark quest as well. It's not till he reaches another 15 or 14 stacks of it that he'll get that big 75% spell power increase. And until that happens, he's a little bit weak. And, it's almost like, let's say, the opposite of Game 1, where Altivian was being pressured. That's what we see Aztec doing now, realizing that we have to pressure Hacky because he's potentially so much damage. And they're doing a great job of it. When you see the board, he's only performed 11k.
Yeah, just not having that game that we're really expecting out of him on this Skull Bazaar. But you have to give a lot of credit over to the side of Aztec. They have been just kind of stunting his growth, not being in positions where he can easily stack up. And yeah, really well done there from Aztec. And they didn't make the same mistake that Crimson did in that push on the bottom lane. They did the damage that they could and then got out before any kind of play could happen. So they are in a good position. They're up a level, but they're not up in talents just yet. And we're back to the Shrine phase where we're trying to see which team is going to be able to better maneuver the map. You usually give it over to the side with the Dahaka because of their impact around the global side of things. But with how much tempo that this Aztec lineup has been imposing, they could end up just shifting it in their favor.
Yeah, they really need Haka down in these fights. Right? They need him there. And that's kind of hurting him having to use his global to get into the fight. And then it potentially leaves Superfish to continue to push a lane, continue to do the pressure. Or if Superfish is down there, any big play is being cancelled by a massive bunker drop. I mean, that's a highlight as well. The bunker is doing so much work for Aztec as well.
Yeah, just doing so much work, just interrupting. Oh, and there goes Hacky. Oh, he's actually alive for now, but for how much longer?
Oh, and finally, Lunara just get the final, this last hit onto it. Kel'Thuzad has returned, however, popping that flash screen straight away. However, it doesn't matter because his team is currently dropping as well. They don't have those cool little flash screens. They're not going to get back in. So it's only you, Hacky. It's only you, poor little Voldemort, getting taken out by Aztec. We have to call them the Harry Boys. I don't know. Doing a great job of pressuring Kel'Thuzad at least.
Yeah, and even once he got back, was not able to land a lot of those chains and lock down that front line. And this looks like this could just be a Dragonite going over to the side of Aztec. There's really nothing that Crimson can do. They're down a member. They're just trying to... They need to just try and get experience for themselves because level 20 just picked up on the side of Aztec. And this is going to be a very massive push coming out for them. They could try and end the game right here with this.
Did you see how excited Doubt was just then on the DK point? He was doing a little fancy Hanzo shifty dance because he knows that they're 20 and they've got a DK. He knows that this could be a game for Aztec. He knows that he can do this, that the boys can pull it off. So let's see how effectively he can do it. The keep will fall to be the first catapult pressure on the game on the side of Aztec when they do manage to take it out. And how they follow their pressure, hitting Hacky, looking for a 0 now. Going to kick him away. It's only a little bit of a distance, but it's going to be enough pressure. Goes onto the court. I'm not sure on that play right now. It is going to, again, I guess, pull Crimson back to it, defend to it, allow the rest of Crimson Gaming to run up. But they got to be careful here. Right, the play's something down now. Hacky's going downtown. The damage is not converting onto it right now. A lot of damage onto Shirk right now. He's been silenced. He has to escape from it. He's about to fall. Does get taken out, but it doesn't matter because they managed to pull the core off, and it's 1-1 apiece, GL.
Yeah, just too much strength coming in. The level 20 plus the Dragon Knight for the side of Aztec is just too much to try and hold on against. And yeah, just got to say it again. Hacky on this Kel'Thuzad just didn't really get a hell of a lot done in that game. And they really needed him to have a big game to try and dictate the pace. They just were not able to get it. And yeah, Altivian and Doubt on the dual DPS of the Hanzo and the Lunara were really able to pressure him out.
It was amazing to see that. You know, we look at Kel'Thuzad Hacky. He only managed to pull off 15k, 15,000, amount of damage in that game. That is, not to say that it's dreadful. He was pressured. There's not
those
much
are not good
he
numbers.
could have done.
There's no way around it. Those are not good numbers. And especially when you're looking at a Garrosh who has more hero damage than you, that's not a good game for you. And we need to see him really pick it up coming into game 3, because if he has another game like that, I really don't see them winning.
Oh yeah, it's he can't they can't try that again. Imagine if that was a Chromie play who argumentatively could offer the same things as Kel'Thuzad did in that way. Maybe it would have been better because maybe the Chromie would have died faster, but could have been a more damage from a safer distance in a safer location. But man, GL, get excited. We're going to our second all-game series. 3 games tonight on the first match. 3 games in this match. Aztec could reverse sweep Crimson, second place holder from Phase 1, a runner-up from Phase 1. It is huge, but I think we should just relax and
temper expectations. I think I feel as though Crimson is still going to come into this third game all guns blazing, and they'll have a lot of the power points that they did in game 1. I feel as though that one was a bit of a throwaway. They wanted to try something, see if it would work. It didn't work. The Kel'Thuzad was pressured out and just didn't get any value out of it. But coming into this third game, expecting him to be a little bit more standard with the draft, trying to go for the more consistent things, and then just outskill your opponents, because that's essentially what we saw in game 1.